Most homeowners love the look of mulch in their flower beds and around their trees, but there's probably a few things you need to know about mulch before you put it down. I want to talk with Amy Dismukes, who is with the UT-TSU Ag Extension Service in Williamson County, and she's going to talk about some of the benefits as well as some of the things that you may need to know before you put down your mulch. This tree is an ornamental cherry tree. It's a beautiful little new tree. What is wrong with this? What is wrong with this pile?
Well, when we apply mulch, we want about 2 to 4 inches maximum.
Okay.
And the reasons we apply mulch is because we are trying to conserve water in the ground, in the root system. But when we use too much mulch, we can actually cause problems. So the idea that more is better is definitely not true in this case. As you guys can see, we've got about 8 inches of mulch on the trunk of this tree. When we have mulch up the trunk of the tree, the first thing it does is it traps water. It traps water on the trunk of the tree. And so the issues that can occur is you can have a rot of the bark because it's sitting in water. And I like to use the example. You wouldn't want to stand in a bucket of water for 2 weeks because what's going to happen to your feet and your toes?
Yeah.
The same thing is going to happen to the roots of a plant and the trunk.
Okay.
Just like our skin, if it's sitting in water for multiple days, weeks, it's going to be able to start rotting and peeling, which is an open wound in the tree.
Yes.
As
and
we can
also,
actually.
Amy, if it's too high, sometimes the water can't even get to it.
If it's too high and we have continued applications of mulch each year, we can actually develop a little fungal mat, mycelial mat underneath this mulch, and it will form a hydrophobic layer. So the water actually runs directly off of the mulch pile and doesn't go into the tree roots.
Okay.
But basically what happens is the roots of a tree are supposed to be in the top 2 feet of the soil. So when we put 8 inches, 6 inches, 12 inches of mulch up to the bark of a tree, those little roots, instead of growing out, are going to begin to grow up because they need oxygen just like we do, or they will suffocate down there and they will basically rot.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily kill a tree, but it will cause sufficient problems, such as this little rotted patch right here. This is a direct entry for pathogens and insects into a tree. And cherry trees already have some issues here in Tennessee because they're very susceptible to several diseases and also wood-boring insects.
Wow. So definitely something to think about when you have a landscaper or you yourself put down your mulch. Don't put it up more than 2 to 4 inches. Right?
2 to 4 inches.
2 to 4 inches. And Amy has already gotten an article written about this very subject. Tell us about that.
Well, it's called Murder by Mulch, which is a catchy little name, I guess. And I did it that way because I wanted people to actually see it and maybe get caught off guard and read the article.
Definitely.
That article was put out in May, and we can access that. You can Google Murder by Mulch. And you can go to the Franklin or the Brentwood homepage, any of the online homepage sites, and put in Murder by Mulch, and it will pop right up.
Okay.
And you'll be able to read all about the benefits and why we don't want to overuse.
Fantastic. Thank you. More great information, and we so appreciate that. We're going to make sure we put her website, a link to that on our website at newschannel5.com.